Hey guys, and welcome to Nickerit. In today's video we're going to make a baby shark. And I'm not going to sing the song because it's going to get stuck in your head and it's going to get stuck in my head. I've been thinking about doing this video for a while and I keep getting baby shark stuck in my head, so that's unfortunate. I need to get this done and over with so that it cannot be stuck in my head anymore. So this is the little baby shark, and this is coming right off of doing my whale amigurumi because obviously they are very similar designs. The fins here are different, and well, the tail here is different. The fins are actually the same, and I have a fin top here that is added, and I end up using fabric paint in this versus no fabric paint obviously in the whale, unless you wanted to get really crazy with the whale pattern, and then you could get really crazy. So I'm using a worsted weight. I've got a gray yarn. These are the things that you will need. A gray yarn from Vanna's Choice. I'm also using white of I Love This Yarn, which is Hobby Lobby's brand, I'm pretty sure, because they have it all over Hobby Lobby and I can't find it anywhere else. So I'm assuming this is a Hobby Lobby yarn. You're also going to need some polyfill. So you can't really see that, so that's why I leave a little bit right there. You're also going to need a size D3 or a 3.25. Really, you can use any one that you're used to. I just like using smaller hooks because it makes my amigurumi tighter and it makes it look neater. Also a darning needle, and like I said before, you're going to need some eyes. I'm using some 6s here. These are smaller eyes than I used for my whales. My whales have a 9, but because sharks have tinier eyes, I decided to use tinier safety eyes. You don't have to use safety eyes. I just prefer using safety eyes because, well, they're really easy. They just snap right on and I don't have to think about how I'm going to adhere them. I hate sewing a lot. I know, blasphemy, but I'm not a fan of sewing on eyes and buttons and all of that. I'll do it when I need to, and also, again, fabric paint, which is what I'm using for these little slides here. You could embroider that with black yarn if you had some, or some embroidery floss or whatever. Alright, let's get started. To start, you're going to need your gray yarn. I'm having a little bowl over here which has grommets in it that it should not have in right now. Here we go. I'm going to feed that through. We're going to use... There we go. I'm going to make a nice, simple, and easy. You're going to need to know how to do a single crochet, how to work in the round comfortably, and also how to make a slip knot. So that's different than, say, a pretzel knot. So for slip knots, you go over, and then you pick up your tail, and you pull it through. I have more expansive tutorials on how to do all of these things on my channel. So I'm going to put my slip knot onto my hook. I'm going to try not to migrate upwards like I tend to. So you're going to want to chain 2. So 1, 2. I use this as my way of making a magical ring. I know it's not making a magical ring, but this is how I do it because I think it's just easy. I chain 2, and then I work 6 single crochet inside of my first chain that I made. So this is your second, this is your first. We're going to go inside that and do single crochet. You'll notice that when I single crochet, I go from the left to the right, and a lot of people go from the right to the left when they're single crochet. I find that when I go from the left to the right, I make a bubblier stitch. So that's why I do it that way. If you want yours to look more bubbly and have less of a flat stitch effect, I like this for my amigurumi. I will do from the left to the right. But you easily, if you get too frustrated with that, and I'm putting 6 in here right now, if you get too frustrated with that, honestly, just any kind of way single crochet will work. So this is 5 and 6. We're going to start working in the round. So I'm going to pull my tail so that it's nice and tight. I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I'm going to go back into the very first single crochet that I made, go through the front loop only. I find this also helps make a bubblier looking stitch, and I'm going to single crochet 2 stitches inside each one of those. So 1, 2. I'm now going into the second stitch. 1, same stitch, 2, 1, 2. We're going to increase until we're at 12 stitches. So the way that I do that is I'm like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And then I go into this one and I kind of count 7, 8, and that's just how my brain does things. So that's another 2, 9, 10, into this one, 9, go again 10, and 11, 12. So what we're doing here is basically we are going to increase every single round until we get to 30 stitches. We went from 6, now we're at 12. We're going to increase another 6 stitches to 18, another 6 to 24, and then another 6 to 30. The way that we do that is we're going to add another single crochet between our increase every single round up to that point. I'm going to post a pattern right here so you can follow that. I also have a written PDF in case you want to travel with it and you don't want to watch this video again. I have that on my Ravelry down below. There will be a link. So to show you what I mean is here we have a single crochet, and then these are 2 stitches right there. So 1, 2, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. We have 12 stitches. We have our 1 stitch here, and then we're going to increase this next stitch. So this is going to get our increase into that 1. So as you can see, there are 2 stitches inside that 1 stitch there. This is going to help us, so single crochet 1, and then go into the next one, and then put 2 stitches inside that 1. So now we're going to do that all the way around. 2, 1. Oh no, I split my yarn. 1, 2. Sometimes you just gotta pull your yarn out, man. That's 2, increase there. 1, 2. Now how many do I have now? Pretty sure that's 18. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18. So now that I have 18, what I like to do is I like to take my tail, and I like to use that as my stitch marker. It's a little too soon to do it for when I was at 12, but now I'm at 18, so now I can actually see where my tail is. So I have 18 stitches here, and what I mean by keep going with 1 more stitch, last time we single crocheted 1, increased. Now we're going to single crochet the next 2, and then we're going to increase. And we're going to do that all the way around. So that'll get us to, we are at 18, that'll get us to our 24. So single crochet 1, 2, and now we increase. And you'll start noticing that where you increase is going to be kind of like pointy, so that's the edge of where you want to increase, pretty much. Just little things that you start noticing over time helps make amigurumi a lot easier. So 2, and now we're going to increase. 1, 2, 1. And what I like about using my tail as a stitch marker is it's going to make it so that I know that that's my last increase. So 1, 2, increase. As I split my yarn, I do that all the time. I don't mean to. Usually I pull my needle out and I just fix it. 1, 2, and increase. I'm hoping this is a little bit more obvious for, whereas with my whale video it was a little harder to see because I wasn't angling things right with my camera like a dunce. So this is my last increase right here. So now I am currently at 24 stitches. Now my last increase row is going to be single crochet 3, increase. So we're going to increase every 4th stitch. That will get us to our 30 stitches that we need. So to show you, 1, oh, and I move my tail first before I do anything. So I go back into that little stitch right here. I'm going to pull my tail out where it was marking, and now I pull up. And that's where my stitch marker is supposed to be now. So now that's where it is. So the first one, we're gonna go again in here. So 1, 2, 3, 4, and in our last one, 5. We're gonna go back into where we started, so that same kind of, you can even see it there, it's kind of like a hole now. Little loop, we're gonna go back in there, we're going to slip stitch, we're going to chain, so that it's always how I end mine, and I'm going to find scissors to cut this. There we go. So I'm going to take my tail, pull that there. I always like to take my tail and kind of feed it through into the center. So there's that. Next, we're going to do eyes. And you'll see here that the tail extends outward. And now, don't worry, we are getting to the white parts soon. Also, this color is not exactly the same color as my original. This is actually Red Heart Heather Gray. So you can use Red Heart, any kind of worsted. I like the texture of this color a lot. So I'll be right back with eyes. Alright, so I have my eyes right down here. I have some safety eyes, and I like to put these on before I do anything else. So here, I try to get them centered and somewhat close. They're 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 stitches apart but centered. So here, I like to fold, and then these 2 stitches are even with my tail. So I go 1, 2, 3, 4, because that's 8 on this side. Push through, right there. This is this last row that I did here. And I like to push safety eyes on. I hate these ones because the backs are so hard. They're store-bought ones, and I don't usually get these ones that are so small. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So this one's gonna go about here. I just like to make them so they're somewhat even. Yeah. So now those are on, and we're going to start. My cat's meowing because she does not like being in the other room. Well, she does like being in the other room, except when she's told she can't be in this room. So then she wants to be in this room. So here we're going to pick up right through the back. I'm going to pick up this stitch right here, and I'm going to just start single crocheting in the back loops of all of these. The back loops being crocheted through make so that the front loop pop up and create this nice ridge here, and that creates kind of like a mouth underbelly thing, and it also makes it really easy for your fins to be able to be picked up and put on the sides. So we're going to pick up the 30 stitches here. So that's 1, and now that we've picked up that 1, we're going to go through the back loop only. Right there, 2, back loop, 3, and so on and so forth until you get 30. 4, 5, 6. Around the eyes are fun. 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. It's a little wonky around where the eyes are because, well, you've got big plastic pieces hanging out and it's just not pleasant. It's not fluid. 19. Wait. 1, 2, 3, 20, 21, 22, 23. Haha, I totally miscounted there. I get talking. 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, and 30. So now I'm going to go through here and pick this stitch back up. Here I'm going to start decreasing and doing the inverse of how I increased. So I'm going to single crochet the 1, single crochet 2, 3, and now I'm going to do a single crochet 4 and 5 together like so. So I'll do that again. So I single crocheted into 4, didn't pull through my second loop, went into 5, pulled through my chain here like I would normally, and then I'm going to pull my working yarn through all 3 of those yarns there, so you can see the stitches right there. So let me do that again here. 1, 2, 3, into the next 3 stitches, you single crochet. Then you go 4, 5, decrease. 1, 2, 3, and don't go through both sides there. 4 and 5. We're back to working with just our normal. We only work through the back loops that one row. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Both together. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. 1, 2, 3, and now we're on our last decrease for this round. 4, and 5. So now we're going to do one less. So we're going to single crochet 2 and then decrease. 1, 2. We're going to take our 3rd stitch and our 4th stitch and single crochet those 2 together. You'll also notice, if I don't split my yarn for the 500th time, you'll also notice that down here you can see kind of where it's been decreased. It looks a little thicker. This one stitch looks a little thicker than the other ones right here in the center. This center one is the one where we decreased, and these 2 are not. So I always kind of line up my, you know you're doing it right if your stitches are starting to line up. And mine are. So 1, 2, and then we take 3, 4, and we continue in that same cycle over and over again. So we're going to do all these decreases. I'm going to put a pattern the pattern right here. And what we're going to do is just decrease 6 stitches each round. And so we're going to do 1, 2, 3, 4 together. Then we're going to do 1 and then 2 and 3 get decreased together. And then we're going to start decreasing every single stitch. And then once we've done every single stitch, I'll show you how we close up after that. I'm going to stuff as well, which is always so much fun. With these little tiny projects, it's not a big deal at all. So I just start stuffing right here, and then I just keep crocheting around that. So I'll be right back after I stuff a little bit. Well, after I get some polyfill. So I got my polyfill, and it's always just fun trying to get these stuffed the right way. What I do is I end up like kind of curling my finger. It's not my favorite part of amigurumi. If you've ever watched one of my tutorials before, you know that stuffing is my least favorite part. Honestly, it really is. Not my forte, but I'm getting there. I always kind of roll and just make sure that everything is pushed to the sides. So like a lot of times I'll dig in the center and make sure that my sides are pushed out. If I see there's a gap, I like to ball my yarn sometimes, which I know is probably not the best way to do it, but it's how I do it, darn it. And then I've got a big hole there now on the top, so I'm going to take my yarn and make sure that my top is filled, nice and happy. And when I'm decreasing, I end up stuffing and decreasing and then decreasing and stuffing some more. So I'm going to decrease the rest of these real quick. 1, 2, we're still on 3 and 4 here. And I split my yarn. There we go, I fixed it. 1, 2, 3, and 4. 1, 2. And it's bit of a balancing act at this point. It's starting to curl over on itself. No! I accidentally didn't decrease that one. There we go. 3 and 4 go together. 1, 2. I also find I have a hard time trying to get these single crochets done around my polyfill because I tend to overstuff, and then if I overstuff, I'm literally putting my hook through stuffing and it pulls it, and I hate it so much. So now we are at 1 single crochet, and then we decrease this to 3, 1. And it gets faster and faster the lower you get because you're, single crocheting less stitches overall. So 1, 2, 3 go together. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2. I'm gonna see if I can get a chart of how I do decreasing on here too. See if I can get that looking decent right after the pattern. You'll know if I've done it because it'll be right after when I showed the patterns. 2, 3, 4. And now I'm at the point where I need to be decreasing every single stitch. So this is the point where I need to start stuffing a lot because, well, I'm getting to the point where I can't stuff anymore if I decrease more. So that goes in there. I'll try to weasel more in there. More goes and tucking and tucking and tucking and pushing. I clawed myself with my own nail the other day. How do you even do that? I guess if you have really long nails. And I did at the time, so I guess I answered my own question there. Alright, so now here I tend to try to roll it underneath so that I'm not gonna it's smooth and it goes underneath the stitches and it doesn't just stick up and out. Oh, I need a little bit more there. It's the biggest pain in the butt of stuffing, honestly. At least I find it. Alright, so now my little shark, baby shark, is stuffed, and now I'm going to decrease every single stitch here. So instead of single crocheting between any of these stitches, I'm going to just literally 1, 2, decrease, 1, 2, decrease, 1, 2, decrease, 1. I'm taking 12 stitches down to 6, 2, 1, 2, and now I should have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 stitches left. I'm going to slip stitch into my next stitch. I like to do a quick little chain. I find that holds my stuff in. I create a little tail, not a big one. And now you'll notice, hey, what are you doing, Cody? There's still a big hole. Don't you worry. I am going to fix that. We are going to take our darning needle, put our tail into our darning needle. We are then going to go from the front of the stitch, well, from the back of the stitch through the front, like so, and pull our tail through each and every single one of these. So this is the first one. We're now going through the second one, front, or back to front, 3, back to front, not splitting yarn, 4, 5, and then our last one's going to be right here. And what we're doing with that is we're going to make something that we can cinch. So we're going to cinch it by pulling it closed. And now she's closed and she looks beautiful. And so now I'm going to take my tail. I'm going to go through the center right in front of where it was. I'm going to pull it through like so. And now I can take my tail on all of these. I'm going to chop off all my tails because I hate tails. Kind of squishy around a little bit, make sure everything's put away. And now we are ready to do our side fins and our top fin. So our side fin, we're going to take our gray yarn again. We are all done with white. White has been done. We are good on the white. We're going to take our gray yarn and we're going to slip stitch it into the side here. We're going to take our center here. We're going to go anywhere between the eye and our tail, or if you want them closer to the eyes, you can put them closer to the eyes, but I like to put it right in the center of the tail and the eyes. I take my yarn, I leave not that long of a tail, just enough that I can sew it in when I'm done. I'm going to put that along the body here. We're going to take our yarn, wrap it, now that we've put her through our hoop. We're going to chain 1. We're going to single crochet 4 into this one loop. So that's 2. That's single crochet 3 and single, don't fall off on me, single crochet 4. Now we're going to slip stitch and chain 1 and then snip off our tail. And pull it through. We're going to take care of our tails in a second, but I'm just going to show you how I do that again on the other side because it can be a little wonky. We're going to put it right in the center. I'm going to make my tail, but not such a long tail, just enough. We're going to chain 1. We're going to single crochet 4, so 1, 2, 3, and 4. Inside of that one stitch right there, we're going to slip stitch and chain right there, and then pull through. I'm going to take my darning needle and I'm going to feed my tails through the body as far away as I can, honestly. So like I can take this one and I'm going to go underneath this stitch right here. No, not that stitch. Right here into the gray. If you put it into the white, then you might have a little bit of gray looking wonky or weird. So I try to get it as close as I can, and we're going to feed it through the body and go across. And if you pull too hard, it's okay. You can always kind of fix it there. But always fix your fin before you cut your tail, because then it could do all kinds of weird things. We're going to go again underneath and go across. And then pull it, fix our fin, so now our fin's nice and done. I'm going to take my tails, I kind of pull it a little bit, that way it falls back but it's in the body and it doesn't show some kind of tail sticking out. Pro tip right there. We're going to do that again, stick in all of our tails. That one went through the center, right where we began. Looks like it got a little blowhole now. And then we're going to go back underneath, right there. Try to get it to wiggle out nice and free. Cut our tail. I like taking care of tails as I go because I feel like if I wait until the very end, A, it's very messy while I'm working and that drives me insane, but also B, it just is a lot of work at the very end, and I just can't deal with that. Because I hate dealing with tails in the first place. Alright, so for our fin, we are going to do something a little weird. We are going to go into the work here, and we're going to go through just one stitch. Doesn't really matter, it's not an exact science. You can see that it's fine afterwards, so we're going to go right into our work. Wherever you want your fin to be. If you're not happy with how it looks going through the back here, you can put it closer to the front. I like it where it's like right here, so it's like kind of receding back a little bit. That's how it looks like when you hit that stitch. So we're going to take our yarn and kind of do the same thing here. We're going to pull our yarn through and make a chain. Next, we're going to go back inside that one stitch. It's a little tricky and a little weird. We're going to do a single crochet. Next, we're going to wrap and do a half double crochet, going back inside that same hole. It'll get easier as you put more stitches into it, or it'll get harder depending on how your tension is. So we're gonna do that again. So we're gonna fold through and we're gonna just do a quick little half double crochet. Now we're gonna go back in and we're gonna do a double crochet. We're basically triangulating with our stitches here. So we did our smallest, medium, largest, and now that we've done that, we're gonna go back to medium and small. So we do that by doing another half double crochet inside that same stitch. 1, 2, 3, and then we're gonna do another single crochet inside there. And you'll notice that makes a nice little point right there. And then we're going to slip stitch back inside. And I do my quick little chain and we call it good, and I cut the tail. And now your shark's body is all done. She all done. Except now you're going to want to take your tails and tuck them in. And the way that I do that is I make sure that I take my first little piece here and I kind of go in with that. That way it's kind of, I find it flattens it and makes it look seamless on the sides a little bit. See how it kind of pulls it down into the piece there? So that way it looks a little less like you put 7 stitches inside of something. So here we're going to go inside that 1 stitch, pull through, and pull it through this, feed it through the side. And then I pull it nice and tight. That way we have a nice little fin there. I cut my tails, and now the only thing that you have left, and this is optional, if you don't want to do it, you don't have to, is putting your paint on the side of your face, of your little guy. If you like this just how it is, you can just go with a little baby shark that does not have paint on his face. Or you can take your fabric paint and just put 2 lines on the side of his face. I'm going to do this on the side of his face, but that's going to take like 24 hours to dry, so we'll see. I usually just go right by the eye, and I take my paint, do a quick little line. This can be messy, as you can see. 1, 2, there we go. And make sure you're not touching it on the other side. That's where things can get super messy, is if you mess up with the paint while it's still wet. Or you can embroider it. I just like fabric paint because I think that it makes it so that it won't come off. It's the same reason why I like safety eyes. That ain't coming off unless you really, really have a determined person, child, whatever going on. So we've got those, we got the paint going on, and that's all she wrote. Alright, so if you like that video, be sure to check out our cute little whale that we've got on our channel as well. He's going to be down linked in the doobly-doo. We have a Patreon, so if you're interested in seeing more videos like this and you want to help become our patron, we have a ton of rewards down there, like free patterns for things that are usually for sale on my Ravelry. Be sure to check that out. Also links in the doobly-doo. Coming up, I'm hopefully going to be doing another video. It's a very similar design where it's a manta ray design and it's a little flatter and he's cute, and I'm thinking I'm going to do a video on him as well. I'm also going to be doing this cute little miniature jellyfish, which can also, if you don't add the little tendrils, which I'm going to show you how to do the tendrils, it's going to be a joint video, so you can do a quick little octopus too, so he works as both. And this is my cupcake yarn again, and I absolutely love the cupcake yarn. It's so cute. I love it. I'm also going to be doing a video on how to make this cute little miniature cactus. Make sure to leave comments down below. Let me know what you do. I love seeing people's projects, so if you want to link me on your Ravelry, go ahead and do that, because that's awesome. I love seeing people's projects. Alright, that's all she wrote. You know how to do all the social media stuff if you're interested. Be sure to stay tuned for my